Wife missed our flight because of her Starbucks coffee, so I boarded the plane without her. My wife and I were supposed to fly cross-country to help our 21-year-old daughter, Jess, move into her first apartment. It should have been a proud moment, a weekend of family, celebration, and seeing our little girl start her next chapter. But anyone who's ever traveled with my wife knows it's never that simple. I'm the type who packs 2 days early, double-checks every detail, and gets to the airport at least 2 hours before boarding. My wife, she's the queen of chaos. Always late, always saying, relax, we'll make it. Spoiler, we usually don't. Last year during Parents' Weekend, I told her we needed to leave the house by 8 a.m. for our 10 a.m. flight. She didn't roll out of bed until 7:40. Then came the shower, breakfast, and makeup routine as if she had all day. We didn't leave until 9, hit traffic, and missed the flight by 15 minutes. I stood at the gate watching the plane pull away. We lost $800 rebooking and missed half the weekend with Jess. My wife's reaction? A shrug and, well, these things happen. So this time, I swore I wouldn't let it happen again. I woke up at 6, packed everything, checked us in online, printed the boarding passes, and made coffee. I shook her awake 5 separate times before she finally got out of bed, groaning about how unreasonably early I was making her travel. By some miracle, we made it to the airport with over an hour to spare. I was ecstatic. She, on the other hand, complained that we were way too early. Then she saw it. A Starbucks just before security. Oh, perfect, she said, veering toward it like a moth to a flame. I need coffee for the flight. I told her absolutely not. Security lines were already forming and we didn't have time to waste. She rolled her eyes. Relax, it's just coffee. 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I let her. I told her I'd go ahead through security and wait at the gate. 15 minutes later, I was through and sitting at the gate. No texts, no calls. Boarding was in 25 minutes. I texted her asking where she was. No response. 10 minutes passed. I called. She finally answered, sounding annoyed that I'd interrupted her. The line's really long, but I'm almost up, she said. I told her to forget the coffee and get through security now. She scoffed. I've already waited this long. I'm not leaving now. Unbelievable. 10 minutes until boarding. No sign of her. I called again. She said she just got her drink and was heading to security. I told her she needed to run. Security takes at least 15 minutes. She told me I was being dramatic. 5 minutes to boarding. My phone buzzed again. Now she was mad. The line's way longer than I thought. Why didn't you warn me? I reminded her that I did warn her multiple times. She said, tell them to hold the plane. They don't hold planes for people ordering caramel macchiatos. Final boarding call. The gate agent picked up the mic, that practiced tone in her voice. Final call for flight 268 to Boston. I stood up, scanning the hallway. Nothing. Just families and business travelers who'd somehow managed to arrive on time. My chest tightened. I pictured Jess waiting for us at her new apartment, excited to see her parents. I pictured missing that moment again because my wife couldn't skip her Starbucks. So I made a decision. I texted her, I'm boarding the plane. You'll have to catch the next one. I'm not missing this trip with Jess again. Then I walked up, scanned my boarding pass, and stepped onto the jetway alone. My phone buzzed nonstop as I found my seat. Texts, missed calls, more texts. I switched to airplane mode and stared out the window as the plane taxied away. For the first time in years, I felt calm. When I landed 3 hours later, my phone blew up with 67 unread messages and 13 missed calls. The first few were furious. I can't believe you left me. You're unbelievable. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. Then they turned pitiful. I'm trying to get on the next flight. They're charging me extra. Can you help? Please call me. By the time I reached Jess's place, my wife had finally landed. She walked through the door exhausted, holding yet another cup of Starbucks. Jess ran up to hug her, asking what happened. My wife started spinning the story about how I'd abandoned her. I just looked at her and said quietly, no, I left for the flight on time. You missed it for coffee. That's on you. Jess stared between us, speechless. My wife went silent. Later that night, Jess pulled me aside and whispered, I love Mom, but I can't believe she almost ruined today for coffee. I nodded. Yeah, me neither. My wife and I haven't talked much since. She's still upset I left her behind, but I'm done apologizing for her choices. I made my flight. I made it to Jess's big day, and for once I didn't have to miss a single moment because someone couldn't get her caffeine fix in time.